time? How can we fit everything in when we have so little time? More about that right after the intro. Welcome to the Day One Journey, episode 203. Ching. Yeah. So, when was the last time you said to yourself that you don't have time? Well, it happened to me so many times in the past. I used to tell myself that I don't have the time to do that or that or whatever it was. But then, it was a process, it was a journey. It took me a while to understand that it doesn't make any sense saying I don't have the time. Because I do have the time. It is the only thing that we all share in common, right? We all have 24 hours in a day. So how does it make sense to say I don't have time? Everybody has time. The exact amount of time. By the way, 86,400 seconds in a day. Everybody has them. So what's the question? I don't know, back then I was, let's say, in university, and then I might have said to myself, I don't have time going out, I don't have time going out dancing. But was it really the truth? Well, I did have time, but I prefer to study, right? I prefer to study. I wanted the good grades. I wanted to get them so I can get the job that I wanted back then. So it's not that I didn't have the time. I just prefer to do something else. It's not really about time, isn't it? I say it's about decision. It's about what we decide to do with our time, right? It's about our choices. What we choose to do with the time that we have. That every one of us have, right? It's so simple, but it took me years to just realize that. Just saying, I'm a very logical person, but saying I don't have time doesn't make any sense. Because I do have. I wake up in the morning, I have 24 hours. And I make decisions. What do I do with these hours? But why do we talk about time? Last episode, we talked about energy and power. And energy is my third value, my third priority. Still, as part of the priorities series, of course. So why do I mention time? Simple. I see time as energy. Yes, time as type of energy. And as we talked about last episode, it is also finite. Like energy. Like with energy, eventually we will run out of energy. Our energy is limited. And in last episode, I shared with you why it is important for me to remind myself of that fact. That the energy is limited. I remind myself of that. So it pushes me to prioritize my precious energy. To ask myself over and over again, every day, what is more important to me than other things? Because I know my energy is limited. It is not infinite. So I strategize and I prioritize my energy. And today, we talk about time. So I used to say to myself, I don't have time. But it doesn't make sense, right? Because we all have the exact amount of time. The same amount of time. So let's say I was saying to myself in university, I don't have time going out for dancing. It's not really the truth, right? I just rather do other things. I'd rather work for the test, study for the test, get the good grades that I want, so it can open doors for me within my career back then. So I made a decision. So as I see it, there's no such thing as lack of time. I see lack of time as actually lack of priorities. Yes, and this is the priority series, and this what stands in the core of the priority series. Again, me in university saying to myself, I don't have time going out. Well, it's not about that. It's not about the time. It's about the priorities. I just wasn't aware when I was just spitting out these words. I wasn't aware. I was not aware that studying, getting the good grades is a higher priority for me than going out. This is just the truth. Like, I cannot go around it. I can complain. It's easy, right? I can complain. I can say, yes, I don't have the time, but I do. But I don't want the consequences, right? I don't want to go out, not study for the exam, be very tired the next day, and not get the grades that I want. This is the game of priorities. And I tell you something, at least for me, this is tough. This is tough, this is challenging. Understanding what is more important to you than other stuff. Because yes, I want the good grades, but yes, I want to go out. The question that stands in the core of the priority series is not just what's important for us, because that's easy, right? Like, I want to go out, I want to get good grades, I want everything. The tough question is, what do I want more? And it is about asking the question. It is about answering it, meaning making decisions, and afterwards being aware of it. So when I say I don't have time, I'm not aware of my priorities. I might have them, but I'm not aware of them. And this is what this episode is all about. I try to stop myself from saying I don't have the time, because I know I do have the time. I just ask myself, I just remind myself, wait, there's something more important? Well, most time there is. And then I'm smiling, having that sense of completeness also, that I'm true to my priorities. So back to you. Next time you hear the words, I don't have the time, whether you saying it to yourself, whether you saying it to someone else, or whether someone says that to you, be reminded of the idea that lack of time. Consider the idea that lack of time is actually lack of priorities, and try to ask yourself, what is more important in that specific situation? Whether what's important to you when you say that you don't have the time to do something, or what's important to the other person if they say that to you. Just raise that level of awareness and ask yourself, remind yourself, it's not really about the time, is it? It's about priorities. So next time when you hear the words, I don't have the time, ask yourself, what are the priorities there hiding? Do that today, raise that level of awareness, ask yourself this question, and of course, have an amazing day one. See you tomorrow.